Right now on ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, more employers and businesses now requiring you to show proof of vaccination, what you need to know to be prepared. Plus,
this is a city that really needs a shopping mall, or if they're going to develop it, they need to develop something for the community.
A popular shopping center in East County now under new ownership, what the future could hold at Grossmont Center. And positively, San Diego, the local tennis champion, with his eye on gold in the upcoming Tokyo Paralympic Games.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
With the Delta variant driving up COVID-19 cases, more concert venues, universities, and businesses are requiring proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. And ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is joining us now live from a county testing site at San Diego State with what you need to know to be prepared. Mimi?
Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, this testing site here at San Diego State actually had to reopen because of the demand for tests here in San Diego County. We have seen a steady stream of people coming in through the doors here throughout the afternoon to get tested. A lot of them are vaccinated, but were exposed to someone who tested positive. A reminder, though, that COVID-19 tests and vaccines are completely free at these county sites. So more and more companies are starting to require proof of vaccinations or negative tests. AEG Presents, which is one of the largest live music companies, announced that starting October 1st, people attending concerts at the venues it owns or operates will have to show proof of vaccination, including the popular Coachella Festival. So a spokesperson tells me that concert goers will need to bring a copy of their vaccine card, a photo of it, or a digital copy. They say the October date was specifically chosen to allow time for unvaccinated ticket holders and staff to become fully vaccinated. Until then, they are still allowing for people to show proof of a negative test taken within 72 hours of the show date. Now, when it comes to fake vaccination cards that we've been hearing of, several federal authorities have warned about how serious that crime can be. It's a violation of federal law and can get you a hefty fine and up to 5 years in prison for forging government seals found on the vaccine cards. We had a chance to speak with Ryan Clabo, who's a project coordinator for the county's testing and vaccination efforts. He says vaccine sites have been seeing more people come through since the Delta variant started spreading.
If you want to avoid the mandatory weekly testing for your employer, definitely get in line with that vaccination and go through the process. All three of our vaccines are available at all of our sites now.
And coming up at 5, we'll show you inside of one of the testing sites and what you need to know if you do want to get a COVID-19 test here across the county. We're live from San Diego State. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
We look forward to that at 5 o'clock. Thank you, Mimi. Today, a CDC committee unanimously recommended a third vaccine dose for immunocompromised Americans 12 years old and older. This is for the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. The FDA says there's not enough data yet to determine if an extra dose of the J&J vaccine is necessary. The committee's recommendation is in line with emergency use authorization that the FDA approved Thursday night. The CDC director signed off on it today. And today is the deadline for all San Diego City employees to disclose their COVID vaccination status. If they have a vaccination card, they will have to include a photo or a scanned copy of it. The city says that fully vaccinated employees will not be required to wear masks while at work, either indoors or outdoors. But those who are not vaccinated will have to wear masks inside and shared spaces.
Well, the 8 states you see right here account for a quarter of the nation's population, but are making up half of all COVID hospitalizations right now. This is according to data from Health and Human Services. Now, of the states, Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi are taking up the most ICU beds. Now, it's more proof that COVID vaccines are keeping people out of the hospital. These 8 states have been below the national average in vaccination numbers. Now, the advanced child tax credit payments appear to be paying off. A Census household pulse survey saw a drop in the number of families with children reporting food insecurity last month. There was no drop in households with no kids. Now, the tax credit benefited low-income families the most, with an 8% drop in food insecurity. The second child tax credit payment will start hitting bank accounts today. Landlords trying to block the CDC's extension on the eviction moratorium has been denied. A federal judge blocked the request today, saying her hands were tied because of a previous lower court ruling. In May, the same judge ruled that a similar version of the moratorium was illegal. Many landlords are expected to further challenge the ruling.
You can keep track of new developments in the pandemic by heading to our website, 10news.com. Hot and humid across the county today. Meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking our weekend forecast. Angelica.
Kim, and I'm hearing from our viewers, even on social media, they're like, this needs to stop. And then I have to remind them, right? It's August, it is our hottest month, and San Diego is living up to it, at least for now. It is hot, it is humid, and the temperatures are once again in the 90s in Escondido and Poway, which is very normal for this time of the year, by the way. I know you probably don't want to hear that. 79 degrees St. Julian, a little bit cooler right now, and Warner Springs 86 degrees. What we're going to see over the weekend is basically the hottest places, the coast and inland, will see a drop in temperatures, while the rest of the county, that means our mountains and deserts, will see temperatures heating up this weekend. So another warm up on the way is just not going to be widespread. It'll be just for mountains and deserts. The heat and the humidity will continue. Humidity levels are actually expected to continue going up. And for tomorrow, near the coast, we'll see patchy clouds. They could actually linger for most of the morning in the upper 70s. Inland communities will be in the upper 80s, as well as our mountains and deserts going back up to 107 with clear skies. Plenty of sunshine this weekend. We'll have a closer look at the chance for thunderstorms in the 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, we'll see you then. And after decades of family ownership, a major real estate firm bought a majority ownership in Grossmont Center. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn explains the big changes could be on the way.
When lifelong friends Joe Mejia and Hugo Rios decided to get together Friday, they met at Grossmont Center. The La Mesa Mall is very familiar.
My daughter actually worked here, and we did a lot of our Christmas shopping here, a lot of our shopping.
But the Grossmont Center that San Diegans have come to know for the past 60 years may be changing. Earlier this summer, a real estate investment trust called Federal Realty bought a controlling interest in the 64-acre site, valued at $175 million. Grossmont Center is now 99% occupied, with anchor stores like Target over this way and Barnes & Noble just off to the side. But by 2025, the new controller will have full say in what happens to this mall, and that makes it ripe for redevelopment.
I think that maybe should fix everything up, make it look nicer, more up to date.
Malls have tried to become more of a destination as a way to compete with online retailers. But commercial real estate analyst Gary London says Grossmont Center could become a place for homes and offices with scaled back retail.
So they're going to look at a residential, office, hotel, different kinds of retail, probably smaller footprint retail, to explore what the best mix of uses are.
Federal Realty says by 2025, Grossmont Center will be a, quote, blank canvas for redevelopment. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
Federal Realty said no one was available for an interview today, but we've also reached out to the Cushman family, the longtime owner of the mall. We are waiting to hear back. And new census data shows that our region is growing more diverse. We're taking an in-depth look at those results. San Diego remains the 8th most populous city in the U.S. That's up more than 6% from 2010. The county is still the 5th largest, rising more than 6.5%. But our demographics have shifted a bit. People who identify as white only made up less than 50% of the county's population. That's down from 64% a decade ago. And those who identify as Hispanic or Latino grew by 128,000 and now make up a third of the population. Nancy Maldonado from the Chicano Federation says there may be an undercount from that group as well, but they are encouraged by these trends.
And that we did see the results are more reflective of the community that we know, because those of us that live in these communities and work in these communities, we see the population around us. And so these numbers are encouraging in that sense, and that it does feel more reflective of the communities that we live and work in.
People who identify as Asian grew by more than 22% and now make up about 12.5%. The Black population saw a slight decline compared to 2010, and we saw a big jump in San Diego County's 2 or more races population. That group tripled since 2010.
I hope that we can use these census results to bring us as communities of color who really need these investments to bring us together.
And the census results impact how federal funds are allocated, investment in communities, and redistricting. Redistricting officials will now look at that data and draw new boundaries for seats from everything to local city councils, congressional districts, and school boards.